ever heard of Sinclair Broadcast Group? Well, if you haven't, you probably should, especially considering it's the company that likely owns your local news station. Sinclair Broadcast Group is the telecommunications corporation that operates the largest number of local television stations in the country. So how large could this company really be? Well, the key number here would be 146. That's exactly how many television stations Sinclair currently owns. But that number will soon grow a little larger because Sinclair is rapidly acquiring more and more newsrooms. One of its latest contracts includes a $985 million deal in which Sinclair bought up 8 television properties. But this buyout is far from unique. In fact, Sinclair alone is behind 7 deals that were completed in just this last year. And that takes us up to 164, because in due time, the company is expected to add 18 more news stations to its collection. And that means the conglomerate will be able to reach approximately 38.7% of U.S. television households. And Sinclair doesn't discriminate. The stations under this media giant are quite diversified. In fact, its roster is set to include 39 Fox affiliates, 29 of ABC, 26 of CBS, 25 of the CW, 16 of NBC, and the list goes on and on. But perhaps what's most peculiar about this is the fact that the company will have 164 stations in only 77 markets. So do the math. That means there are markets where Sinclair will own more than just one station. Let's just take a look at the state of Florida. In both West Palm Beach and Pensacola, Sinclair owns 4 competing stations. And if that's not enough, in both Gainesville and Tallahassee, the telecom giant owns 3. But here's the hitch. As the stations consolidate into the same company, so does their content. It's a popular way for big media companies to cut their costs. So that means a viewer in one city could flip through all their local stations, see different anchors, but hear the same words. In fact, it's something Conan O'Brien poked fun at in one of his comedy bits.
In consumer news, economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
So the million-dollar question is, how is Sinclair able to get away with this? Well, in 1999, the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, changed its playing rules. It said it would permit common ownership of 2 television stations within the same market if 8 full-power independent television stations will remain post-merger. The FCC assured critics that the change would still allow for healthy competition. But it hasn't, because it's opened up a way for Sinclair Broadcast Group to skirt around the rules. This is all laid out in a recent report put out by Free Press, which is a media watchdog group. Free Press says that Sinclair has been capitalizing on a loophole to the rules, taking over multiple stations through the use of outsourcing agreements. Basically, it means that Sinclair is purchasing these stations through subsidiary companies it oversees. These sidecar companies are Cunningham Broadcasting, Deerfield Media, and Howard Stirk Holdings. Free Press argues that this should serve as a wake-up call to the FCC. The report says unless the FCC starts enforcing its rules, there will be much more consolidation to come. Newsrooms will close. People won't have competing sources of news about issues that matter to their communities. But perhaps we shouldn't expect the commission to act on this anytime soon, especially considering Sinclair just picked up an FCC insider to be its chief lobbyist in D.C. Rebecca Hansen, who focused on broadcast spectrum issues at the FCC Media Bureau, will join Sinclair on January 2nd as Senior VP for Strategy and Policy. She'll oversee a new D.C. office, conveniently located just an arm's length away from both the FCC and, of course, a whole host of Washington lawmakers. So it's highly probable that we're just seeing the beginning of Sinclair's covert consolidation and monopolization of the market. The next time you flip through your local channels and get the feeling that things sound eerily familiar, at least you'll know why. In Washington, Amira David, RT.